Hello, little ones. Would you like to hear a story? I've got one for you. Of dungeons and douchebags. Long ago, the land of Irion was governed by many majestic empires. The humans of the plains, the elves of the forest, the Oreads of the mountains, the Merrow of the oceans, and the kobolds and Okiti taking what was left. But, as is so common amongst all with darkness in their hearts, those who had power would not be satisfied until they had more. War broke out, alliances being made and broken in a second, as the once civilized races slew each other in droves in vain attempts to get one more seat of power. The kobolds, on the brink of annihilation, sought out a new draconic god who would protect them. Instead, they found Jogotha. A powerful and terrible dragon, Jogotha cared not for the suffering of those around him. Taking advantage of the warring continent, Jogotha razed Irion to the ground, seeking to carve a mighty empire in his name. A last desperate alliance stood firm against Jogotha, and after a terrible battle, the dragon was finally slain. With Irion torn apart, and no one in any shape to continue the war, an armistice was reached, and the Great War ended. Now, many years later, Irion has started to rebuild, and the Age of Clockwork has begun. And our unlikely heroes, gathered first to celebrate a harvest festival, may soon find themselves at the center of another war. Trevlon, the halfling bard.
I don't need sleep. All I need is a good case to follow.
Corellian, the kobold paladin.
I will not make the same mistakes again.
Malifane, the half-elf rogue.
I will find them. I will save them. Actions speak louder than words, boy.
Thavagat, the Goliath barbarian.
I am man of simple tastes. Friends. Drink. Cute little bunnies.
And Momo, the Arakakra cleric.
If we have to fight, we will fight together.
From humble beginnings, these brave adventurers may soon find themselves the key to saving the fallen empires.
Last time on Dungeons and Douchebags, Fallen Empires. Our heroes, still reeling from the death of Arias, ran into the kobold tunnels, hoping the narrow passageways would be a boon in their fight against Sindre. Unfortunately, they all chose to go down one narrow passageway, which Sindre could easily breathe lightning down, and take down most of them in one fell swoop. The fight then turned to one of desperate panic, as a plan to hide in a dead end failed spectacularly when Sindre burst through the wall. Thavagat fought her valiantly, saving his life and the lives of Trevlon and Zutzag, but at the cost of his left hand, bitten off by Sindre. In sheer desperation and panic, Trevlon called out to Mr. Fox, saying that he would have access to the library if he helped them defeat Sindre. But it was Corellian whom the Yugoloth appeared before, offering up a contract that would give him full access to Battenrance grounds. With great trepidation, Corellian signed the contract, and teaming up with the Fiend, just barely managed to slay the great clockwork dragon, before she could kill any of his companions. Bloodied and tired, our heroes dragged themselves back to the tavern and collapsed into bed. Momo attuned with the amulet that Arias gave him before he passed on, and inside was an air elemental taking the shape of Sirenita, goddess of the Arakakra. While Momo was overwhelmed by the encounter, as Momo tended to be, Sirenita was far more relaxed, answering his questions about why Arias, and beforehand Momo's parents, had the amulet, and explaining that though her powers as a goddess in Irion had waned considerably, given that all the Arakakra of Irion besides Momo were dead, she would do what she could to help the poor little fledgling. Meanwhile, Corellian also attuned to a magical item, the Belt of Dwarven Kind, which caused him to grow a full dwarven beard that looked completely out of place on the scaled kobold. He turned to Thav for advice on how to shave, which Thav never got to give his own son, thanks to, murdering his own family. But though Thav tried, Corellian turned out to be rather a natural at shaving, which meant that, while hilarious, a beard appearing on his face would be unlikely to be a problem for quite some time. The priestess Snagu and the very punch-drunk Zutzag arrived with a wheelbarrow full of stuff, the party's share of the dragon's hoard, which included a kobold-sized set of plate mail made from cast-off scales of Dragatha, and Corellian immediately claimed it as his own because why wouldn't he? After completing some last business in Myrdeal and confirming that getting a replacement hand for Thavagath would be both very expensive and very time-consuming, our heroes set sail back to Battenrance Hall. Our heroes parted ways with Snalgu and Zutzag as the latter sailed off for the City of Shimmering Lights to try and deal with the situation at the Kobold oil rig. At the grounds of Battenrance Hall itself, our heroes saw that a multitude of construction projects had been completed, but were too exhausted from the journey and the fight with the dragon to order much more, so they decided to take a rest and see what they wanted in the morning. During the night, however, Sirenita appeared in Momo's dreams, saying she remembered something very important that she felt Momo ought to know. And then some asshole dungeon master decided that was the best place to put a cliffhanger. What did Sirenita remember? What shenanigans have happened at Battenrance Hall while our heroes were away? And how much worse can these cliffhangers get? Because, that was just mean. Find out on tonight's episode of Dungeons and Douchebags, Fallen Empires. Hello and welcome to Dungeons and Douchebags, Fallen Empires, the show where apparently, my email is still in a tab in Firefox. No one needs to see that. No one needs to see that. I am a professional. Joining me, as usual, are my lovely friends who would never read my email. We have Jojo.
Why would they make all these basic figurines?
We have Scott.
Because we're Sonic heroes!
Stop it.
We have Phil.
I can't top that. I can't top that. I'm sorry.
We have Atlas.
Alex, all you need to do is give me your mother's maiden name and your bank account information, and I have $1 million just for you.
I see. And we have Trevlon.
Alex, I'm going to take your email and sign up for Club Penguin and swear at 12-year-olds and get you down.
You're gonna have to be my dad so I can sign up for Club.
Wow, Trevlon, you sound a lot like Walrus.
Yeah, I really like how you said Trevlon. It's great.
I didn't even mean that.
It's okay. I respond to Corellian too. Don't worry.
Iris, you're
Yeah,
valid. But I
Corellian,
think we
you're
all
grounded.
respond to...
Oh, fuck.
Wait, I'm a kobold. I don't know who my dad is.
Oh,
fuck.
Ouchies!
Wait, that's just how yellow racist.
We love you.
All right. So, when last we left off on Fallen Empires, our heroes had returned to Battenrance Hall, bought a few things, and then decided Malifane was awfully quiet that day. They'd wait for him to wake up so that they could discuss what else to help construct and explore around the hall. So they went to bed, and Momo had a dream where Sirenita, goddess of the Aarakocra, who apparently had some sort of manifestation inside the necklace given to Momo by Arias, right before, Arias bit it, appeared in the dream and said she remembered something very important. I remember distinctly we left off there because everyone was very angry with me for cutting it off there.
I'm still angry at you.
I'm just angry that I didn't get to fight the Dargan.
Suck it, loser.
Fucking loser.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Scott.
I love you
Nah,
so
we
much.
missed you. It was fucking...
It was hard. Woo-woo.
Woo.
You could have done literally anything else, but
Anyway.
you chose to... Okay, I'm done.
All right. So, Momo, as you find yourself in this dreamscape, the image of Sirenita appears before you and says, I remembered something very important that I feel it would be important for you to know.
What is it?
When your master, I believe his name was Arias, got kidnapped, I was able to hear some of what happened before everything went black and I went inactive so that my powers could not be used for evil. I heard a man speaking to him, introducing, first of all, a woman named Steavana Rothart, and then himself. His name was Rancor.
I don't know if that name means anything to you.
Do I know this name?
You have not heard this name before.
Oh, it doesn't sound familiar to me. But maybe one of my friends know it.
I see. Well, if they do, then I'm glad to have been of some service.
Thank you. Is there anything else that I need to know? Do you know where they were?
No, I could only hear it, I am afraid.
I see.
I did hear
But still,
the sound of lots of water, which I suppose doesn't help all that much, given that Irion is primarily a water-based continent.
I'll take what I can get. It's more help than you can imagine.
I'm
Thank
glad to
you.
hear it. And then Cyrenita bows her head and disappears with a whoosh of wind. And you wake up to the ever-familiar sound of construction work.
That's oddly soothing.
Can you quickly remind me what it is we've got under construction currently? Since Scott is now here.
Yeah, currently under construction are 2 farms, specialty farms, one for crops and one for meat, like livestock and stuff. You're also setting up better furnishing at the tavern, which is complete, a material goods merchant, and an information network.
I see. Scoth, my boy. I mean, Malafane, my boy. Is there anything you are after purchasing? Because we have a lot of dough now. Like a significant amount of dough.
So much we can make bread. Lots of bread. Get them
Tremendous
started.
amounts of bread.
You dead?
Yeah. He asleep.
Wait,
Malafane's
Legit?
you asked?
No, he's asleep. You dingus.
Oh, you did ask Mal.
You big silly Willy! You're just now waking up to construction, everyone!
Okay, in fairness,
You dingleberry.
I was out of game reminding Scott we've got dough and we can spend it on construction. I
Well, you
thought
should have
Scott
said
had
it out of
actually fallen
character
asleep in
then.
court.
You should have
also
said
like
out
to
of
hear
My
character.
apologies.
It's okay.
Okay.
Wait, is this now out of character, or are we?
No, this was all out of character. Your character was there when we got all this. I was just reminding you that that's
Yeah.
a thing that's happened.
Okay.
Since we didn't purchase anything on your behalf because...
Yeah, you'll notice you have a
Okay.
lot more money.
Yeah. Was it added to my
Yes,
total?
I added
Okay.
it.
Much appreciated.
Dragon hordes, they're fancy, man.
Mal would probably be interested in the either in the material or the information.
Oh, no, those are all
Oh, we
those are
already
already
bought
bought.
that.
Those are stuff that's
Those
under
are also
construction. Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
So we've still got a bunch of other stuff that we could do with. Maybe another specialty farm if you want to. Fucking...
Or, one of the big projects that
Oh, yeah,
sort of
big projects.
costs down.
Remind me again what it was that we were working on. Like saving up for, I mean, the big project.
a bunch of them. I
There
guess.
are 3 that are major big projects. There are docks, which basically will allow ships and trade from that direction to come and go from Battenrance. There's a clock tower, which is going to improve work efficiency around Battenrance. And there is the working complex, which would be like a mine or forestry or fishing, which would put the actual residents to work and get money.
Ooh.
My immediate thoughts, as Scott rather, are either the mines or the clock tower. Just because the more we can improve, working efficiency, the better off we'll be in the long run. But
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that big investor man interested in purchasing a clock tower himself? And don't we also have him as a resource to nudge in a direction we may like?
who
for
was
stuff
that
like
who
the clock
said
tower.
that? I know we
Vlad?
had some-
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was willing to offer us loans and shit.
Was it him? I thought we had someone else who came to make a bargain of some sort.
It was
No?
Nulurnalad.
Yeah, there's Nulad, the boy who wants to well, wanted permission to build his own stuff, and I can't. I just vaguely remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. The same saying that he was going to buy a clock tower. So, did he, or am I misremembering that?
I think that was an example.
Oh,
Yeah. That was him giving an example of how the loan system would work. Like, if you wanted the clock tower, go talk to whoever the representative at the bank offshoot is, because that is built now.
Ooh,
yeah,
fun.
And discuss the terms of a loan.
Well, yeah. In that case, I'm with you, Scott. Either a clock tower or docks. Is where I'm lying.
Well, since we're all agreeing on the clock tower option, at least maybe that should be our focus.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to split the clock tower? That's 2,000. So what?
If 4 of us work on it, then that'll be 500 for each of us. If it's 3, then I believe that's like.
What about all 5?
Well, we are all interested in it. That's true. Maybe.
I'm going to totally do this in my head.
That would be about 400 per person.
Magical brain to get 400.
I can afford that if all of you are keen.
Yeah, I'm down for putting some moolah towards that. If everyone's in.
Yeah, totally.
Not in, Caroline? I mean, Atlas? I mean, either?
I might take a... I don't know, that's a... That would be taking a bite into what I have. I'm just trying to save at least something.
Anyone wanna boost theirs to like 600 and 600 then?
I am awful with spending my money. Hell yeah.
I'll pay
I could boost mine up to 800. And I'm crazy like that.
Are you sure?
Oh, fuck.
Absolutely.
He's crazy, man. He's crazy.
You're crazy, man.
For my half.
Yeah. Watch out, he crazy.
We have a
He's crazy. Yeah, I've taken 400 out of mine, so cool.
Yeah, 400 out of mine as well.
All right. You all go down to discuss this. Bert nods, slight smile on his face as he notes down construction clock tower, ordering all those parts. He then looks up. Now, that is going to take a little longer than the usual. Like, unsupervised, most projects are going to take 10 days. This one would take 15.
All right.
Supervision could still help out if you need it, like, fast, though.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't think we're really in a rush for that.
Well, actually, I guess to Malifane, everyone else has bought like a small thing for themselves. Like, we got information for Atlas and Trevelon. We got the other thing. I can't remember what it was.
Atlas and Trevelon?
That's right.
Hello.
Those two.
You
know, our good friends Atlas and
Second
Trevelon.
person at this point. Fact.
We are but one being.
Was there anything you had in mind? Like a specialty area? Or a workshop?
Something like that. This is presumably directed at Malifane.
Specifically at Scott because he wasn't there to do it the last time.
Oh,
but
yes.
anyone, I suppose.
I did the thing.
'Cause I'm looking at the workshops again. I'm trying to remember if I want
I'm
anything.
trying to remember what if does the Inquisitive Rogue have any proficiency?
I do not believe tool proficiencies.
I haven't changed over to Inquisitive yet, but just for future ref.
What's a forgery den?
That is what the workshop for a forger's kit. So if you need to forge documents or something like that.
Oh,
We want to do illegal things.
Oh, illegal things.
crimes.
We're not about that.
We're
Be
not
gay,
about
do
that.
crimes.
Have you noticed that I haven't touched my forgery kit or my poisoner's kit, despite being a mastermind rogue?
We have.
Ooh, if I may be meta for a second. I believe it's all in our common interest to buy a vault, because Alex has repeatedly made NPCs make comment about the fact we're carrying so much money at all times.
That's true.
And I feel
That's
as though this
true.
is foreshadowing because Alex is a cruel god that takes no shit.
Alex is not
So-
cruel, for one thing. Alex is probably one of the nicer DMs I've ever had. So just
The
keep that in mind.
DM, nicest person I've ever met. But he's a cruel god, I'm telling you now. It's foreshadowing. We need a vault.
Okay, I'm sold. Let's get a vault.
How much would that be?
That's 900 for a vault. I'm happy to throw in 200 of that. Oh, sorry, 300 of that. That's right.
Do you mind if I double check real quick? Because I think there might be upgrades to the vault to make it harder to break into. In the meantime, you could look at more stuff.
Yeah, okay.
There are also the upgrades to the estate that Ishko was talking about, of course, and things like an Arcanist, an Enchantry, now that we have an Arcanist research room, and all sorts of things for the tavern, and, so on and so forth. I'm kind of at my limit when it comes to spending money. I'm trying to save at least some of it.
Yeah.
Same.
You're valid.
Although, I will say, with the whole, Minotaur thing, it might be worth it to maybe up our security. Maybe a little bit.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be alright.
What are our...
We do have a wall and a moat, don't we? And guards.
Quote-unquote guards. You've
Yeah,
seen
right.
how well the guards operate.
Guards in
feel that-
training.
They're very
I feel-
good at catching mastiffs. And by very good, I mean they call
They
it...
need work.
They mean well. Message for you, Professor!
If anything, I trust Maggie. I trust Maggie.
I trust Maggie too, but at the same time, Maggie is great, but one
Maggie is
person.
Maggie.
Aye.
I think. I mean, I'd be very keen to possibly put some money forward to some either better training or better people. Either one.
I want higher quality people.
I want
I will
higher
Where do I
quality.
pitch? Do you have
that's
any more people in the back?
That's another thing. Out of character, but Scott, there are actually some, I believe it's pronounced the Thrycreen, who are now living at Battenrance. So that's kind of interesting.
Where is this?
It's in the Battenrance Hall handout. There are 2 Thrycreen who are living here, and we found out last time that they are very nomadic, very isolated, and they don't really interact with many races. So it's kind of weird that they're here, and they primarily communicate by drawing things. They don't really speak common. So I just figured that would be something you're maybe interested in.
They're mantis men.
And they look like mantis men.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the big
Right,
thing.
thank
Yeah.
you.
When Mal wakes up, then maybe he'll do some research on them.
Awesome. I looked into the vault. Vault itself can't really be upgraded. You'd have to upgrade traps and secret doors to hide the vault instead.
Okay. I'm still
I
searching.
mean, we have to build it before we can upgrade it, so...
That's
So
fair.
is that just
So
extra
is everyone wanting to
security?
pitch in for the vault?
Yeah, I'll pitch in.
Just because.
I could
That's
maybe
just
put in
100.
100.
So.
Okay, 100 from Corellian. Who else?
I'll pitch in.
100.
How much do you need?
Okay, so we got 100 from Corellian, 100 from Malifane, 300 from me, so that's one. We need 400 more.
I'll give you 400.
Cool.
I guess I'll just
Funny
actually.
Momo.
Yeah, Momo. How about you and I split it 150?
All right.
150 for 400.
I'm great.
I'll put in 300.
Yeah, I'll put in 100.
We just kind of like pat Trevlon's shoulder.
I'm a journalist. I'm not a mathematician. All right? Shit.
It's all right. It's all right.
I presume at this time we've probably all kind of gotten down from
Yeah,
our,
at this point you're
bedrooms
all
and
kind of
shit.
gathered together.
Cool.
Uh,
Yeah, we got the vault.
cool.
Nice new.
Bert nods, looks up.
Anything else you people want, or are we gonna table this for now?
You know what? I think that it would be. I think it would be perhaps rude to our polite, polite sort of person of the house if we didn't put anything towards mansion expansion. I'm willing to do that myself.
Oh, okay.
We have. What do we have at the mansion at the moment, apart from the wine cellar?
Cloakroom.
Cloakroom.
Yeah.
Wine cellar and cloakroom. Trevlon.
Wait, didn't we also have a guest hall?
Oh yeah, guest hall and cloakroom. The wine cellar, it's not up to Ishka's standards.
Oh, bitch. Right,
Well, Trevlon would like to fix that.
which
Would
one?
would it be the full 800 to bring up the existing wine cellar to Ishika's standards?
I think you've invested 100 in it, so it would only be 700.
You know what? Trevlon is very willing to fork that forward. So I will do that if y'all are cool with that.
Pure gold.
It is.
All right.
Wizard.
Wizard. Awesome.
Wizard.
I'm going to guess that's it then.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with what we got so far.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
Bert notes all this
Peruse.
down, somehow gets his own way to carry around shit tons of money, and heads off.
He has a wheelbarrow at this point.
I mean, you did bring over the wheelbarrow, so that's cool.
That's true.
Okay, good.
I don't know about everyone else, but Thavagath is feeling a little bit pudgy and is going to go down to the fighting ring.
Cool.
Strength.
I'm gonna go back to my room. Cheers. And he just kind of like scurries off.
Alright then. I would ask questions about that, but I did pick up something for Annabelle and Murdeal, so I'll go and visit her. Oh?
Can I walk with you briefly? I need to ask your. I need to ask you
Walking
your
is
help. on
free.
something. Yes, that is true. Unlike the amount of money I just spent, that was a lot. Anyway, I will head your way for the time being. I may check on Momo to see if they're not, freaking out. They've been through a lot, so I'll do that once we're done with our conversation.
So, alright then.
Okay. And what is Melifane doing? Going back to sleep.
How
Okay.
did you pay for things if you were
You were here this whole time, damn it! Get down here!
I like to assume he's just been sleeping this whole time.
Even if he's been
Yeah, we
downstairs.
You just pinched shit out of your coin purse. No.
Wouldn't be the first time someone has stolen shit from him.
Who's stolen shit from you?
Journal.
Gath.
Journal.
Still shit.
Just
You don't know that.
journal.
I appropriated it.
You know
Mal doesn't
100%
know
it was
that, but Scott
Thavagat.
knows that.
Thavagat handed it back, so you got a pretty good idea.
Fair.
Trevlon, noticing Malifane being asleep, yells, "Mal, there's some mantis men. Go talk." Or something like that. Do your own thing. Just get up.
Trevlin just kicks in the door, screams "Mantis Men," and then runs out.
Man's almighty, don't kick in the fucking doors. We have to pay for those if they break.
I don't think Trevlon has the strength to kick in a door.
Yeah, definitely not.
You could just not kick in a door at all? Have you considered?
Have you ever considered that I am a man of flair, and I need to do this to get the point across?
Trevlon Blue Quill.
I will kick
Shut
every
up.
door down if I... Alright. Anyway,
Creepers, Corelli.
Destroyed.
Malifane?
Have you
Malifane, you...
Maybe I just want... Wait. Mantis Men?
Yeah, Mantis Men. Thry Cream, they're called. They popped in whilst we were away. There's some interesting folk who communicate through pictures. You're pretty good at understanding the way that, different, sort of people operate in that way. I think it might be up your street to give them a look-see and have a chat.
All right. Do we have any books on them, or should I purchase a ship?
I'm pretty sure we had a section of the races.
Don't you have books upon all the races of Irion?
Yeah,
they're
we do.
native to Irion.
We definitely do have some books of that nature, my dude. Pop in the library. I'm sure your dearest will point you in the right
Go see
direction.
your fiance. Damn.
Yeah, you've not seen her yet, do you?
All right then. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yes.
Also, please fix that door.
I will. Oh,
Would I be able to use my Tinker's tools to just how fucked is the door?
that's a good. Let me roll strength.
Roll strength.
Roll strength to fuck up the door.
Oh fucking hell! Oh no! Reflex.
Oh,
Somehow this tiny halfling has knocked the door completely off its hinges.
Fighting is
Well, if
actually
it's
really
just
bad.
hinges, then it shouldn't be too hard to replace them. I guess I'll just pop by the smithy later and ask Ugmek if he can make some hinges quickly, or I mean, I could make them. Corellia just sort of like moves over and just sort of like props up the door so that it's not like askew or laying on the ground or, you know, in the middle of being broken. I'll just, I'll fix this later.
sounds good.
Sorry, Mal.
Mal's just gonna take an apple, 2 apples to go, and just head to the library.
Yes, from the apple barrel that is in his room.
You only
Endless
have like
supply of
4 of them
apples.
left.
You need to grow an apple tree, Malifane. This is fact. It has to happen now.
Quick question: Are orchards available as like a specialized type of farm?
Ooh.
Asking for a friend. The friend is Malifane.
Friend is Malifane. Hold on and let me check what the specialized farms are.
I'm actually intrigued now.
None of them are fruit, unfortunately.
Oh.
You wanna make a fucking orchard, though, be my guest. It would still technically be a specialized farm. I guess it would fall under a crop.
What do we make of them? Wouldn't we have to like find a source that like sells seed?
That's
Well-
about the costs.
Technically, when you're starting an orchard, you actually don't use seeds at all. You graft existing known good sources of fruit to trees. And anyway, this has been Atwas Knows Too Many Weird Fucking Things About a Lot of Fucking
Atlas
Shit.
and agriculture.
Atwas
Listen,
and agriculture. And a lot of weird facts. We'd have to buy a farm and then specialize it, basically.
Atlas is good at D&D.
Yes.
That's not D&D.
Whatever it is, you're good at it.
Atlas is good at real life.
Practical application.
Debatable anyway.
Anyway, the group splits off. We'll follow Thavagat first since he was the first one to speak up. You head down to the battle ring. It looks better than the last time you saw it. Like, it's not gathering cobwebs and dust anymore. Some of the guards are actually training in it, looking like they know which end of the sword is the pointy end now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Julian Jeremier, your manager, is there. He turns, is like, Thavagat, it's been a long time. Oh my god, your hand!
What? Oh. I forgot about that.
How do you forget about that, Thavagat?
Out of character, because I know you're laughing at me, Atlas. I can see it. I didn't forget about that. Thavagat did. Shut your mouth.
I'm still fucking dying because it's hilarious.
Yeah. Dragon.
Dragon! Okay, is it a case of you should see the other guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Not exactly sure how we're going to. Not exactly sure how we're gonna spin this with the guild, but I'm sure I can think of something.
I mean, you could spin it in the fact that I've
Lost it fighting and killing a dragon.
Yeah, there's that. It's just, a lot of the grapples that we use in the standard practices require 2 of those.
Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm back. Kinda need to relearn some stuff.
Alright. Yeah, I can tell, you're gonna need to learn a lot more about weight balance. Carrying a big ol' axe is fine and all if you got 2 hands, but those things are heavy even for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Alright, come on, step in the ring. I'm sure one of these guys will provide something resembling a challenge, since you got, 1 hand.
Alright. Favagath will step in. If you plan on making this a thing, then sure. Otherwise, we can just treat this as this is something that he's just doing for the day.
This is just something that you're doing. This is your job, Favagath. I'm not going to make you roll for it,
Sweetness.
Only because you are a Goliath will I say it is fine. Because Goliaths have double carrying capacity, which means double muscle, which means you can theoretically carry a big old great axe in 1 hand.
Wait, has my wound cleared up enough that I can punt people with my stump, or has it not quite gotten there yet?
It's going to hurt if you try that.
Fair enough. Alright, never mind.
Yeah.
And no stump thumping.
No stump thumping. Yeah. Unarmed strike. Haha, I see what you did there, cause you almost lost your arm.
But yeah, that's all Favagath's doing for the day, so.
Cool. That's Favagath. Corellian and Chevlon, you're heading over towards Annabelle's.
Right. So, I was wondering if I could ask you. Well, you know the Tinker's Guild, right? You're a member.
Yes.
I was wondering if I could ask you to put in an order for me, if possible. I know it might be. Yeah.
Well,
So,
what would you need?
So, fun fact. There's a... how do I put this? When we were coming back from the whole thing that happened with the dragon, I've been noticing that my, I can't see as good. And the fact of the matter is that my eyes are not exactly fond of the sun either. I think I'm losing my vision a little bit, and that sucks. I'm fairly certain it came from my dad, which is awful. It's one thing I got from him, and it's that. It's annoying as hell. Everybody else in the family, perfect vision. Me, nope. I get them eyes. Anyway, I was wondering if I could ask you if it's possible to make glasses that sort of react to the sun. Darken when it's dark, all that sort of thing.
I mean, I'd probably have to consult with, when did this start happening exactly?
I think it was pretty much as soon as we started heading back from the deal. Can't really tell if it was whether or not I got, well, maybe death has something to do with it, but I don't know. Either way...
Just see Corellian flinch.
I'm alive. It's fine. Anyway, the point of the fact is that my eyes aren't working as good. I figured that some good old-fashioned spectacles would do the trick. I don't know how to acquire those. You probably might, and I trust you. So I figured that you'd be able to get me at least a decent pair somehow. I'll pay, by the way, just before you about to ask about that.
I wasn't going to ask about that, but I suppose thank you for volunteering the information. Yeah, of course, I'll ask around, and we'll try to see if I can draw something up and get that sorted out for you, and probably have you come in for a measurement or consultation or something, and just, are you... Carlin just sort of as this conversation has been happening, Carlin's sort of been slowing down and just finally just stops and just...
Mate, are you okay?
Are you
I
really
know that-
alright?
I'm fine. I am fine. I feel, well, as I say, my eyesight's a bit meh, but a lot of things happened when we were fighting that dragon. A lot of things, including that thing that happened. I can understand that it was horrifying for all of us. It happened to Thav, it happened to me, and the fact of the matter is, though, we won. And I don't think the high of winning has gone away from me yet. I'm sure it'll catch up to me. I'm sure one of these days I'll be having a nice little nap, and then I'll just wake up and go, ah, death! And then that'll be it. And then I'll be having to worry about that for a while. But at the moment, I'm okay. What about you? We haven't chatted much since we kind of, left. You doing okay?
I wish I had your ability to find humor in the direst of situations. I'm sure that it's quite helpful a lot of the time. I just things are just, well, ordeal. Going back, a lot happened. Whatever.
If you need to talk at any point, I'm available.
Trevlon, you never... Crowlin just sort of, pinches their brow and looks up at the sky and just... I know. Thank you. I'll, try to get the spectacles thing sorted out. I appreciate it, and just, I just want you to... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am. I apologize. None of this would have ever happened if, well, fill in the blanks.
I'm not mad about that anymore. Or at the very least, I'm not mad about the fact that you didn't tell us. You apologized for that. And that's all you needed to do. But I'm still... When I said that you need to think of yourself as a person who doesn't need to... You're not a coward. And I still think I need you to believe that. Or at the very least, that I need to see you believing that. What happened in Merdeel... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
What happened in Merdeel was rough for all of us. But I know for a fact that it was roughest on you. Maybe Momo, that's for sure, but you had to deal with a lot there. So...
It's ancient history, Trevlon. Put it out of your mind. I didn't have it. Listen, Momo had his mentor die, the person that he's been looking for months. The whole reason that we've even met each other at this point, and just that basically it's gone forever. Had maybe, an hour, 2 hours back with him, and then you I didn't have it the roughest. That's for sure. And I really hope that you are okay. I have to go talk to Annabelle. I'll find you later, when it comes to the spectacles. Thank you for walking with me.
No worries. Give Annabelle my best, of course. And give yourself a day off one of these days, please. You need it. After all that's happened, take a you day. Soon, if you can manage it.
If it's your request, I'll try.
Trev gives a thumbs up.
All right.
Right. Cool.
Cool. So, you split off, and Corellian heads off towards the alchemist lab, looking for Annabelle. There is a note on the door with Corellian written on it, folded up, and attached to the doorknob with a tiny little chain is a small device that looks like a screwdriver with a button on the end of it, the end that does not screw things in.
I'll look at the note first.
All right. The note says, "Hi, Corellian. Sorry I missed you. I got called to Port Mirandu. Apparently they're looking for any available alchemists and are paying very good work for a commissioned job. Hope to be back in here soon. In the meantime, if you're back and don't want to carry around the lightning rod, use the little doohickey I attached. It'll unlock the door, put the rod inside, then use it again to lock the door. Please do not take the doohickey. Those are really hard to make. Thanks, Annabelle."
I'll nod, I'll fold the note up, and I will indeed use the doohickey to open the door.
All right.
And get inside.
You press the button on the quote-unquote doohickey. It starts glowing, you hear a softly chanted arcane word, and then click! The door just immediately glows a little bit and swings open to let you into the alchemist's lab.
In we go.
Great. It is very quiet now that Annabelle is not in here using the equipment. Curtain is drawn over the usual half of the alchemist's lab, and you just put the lightning rod down and go back out.
I will once more lock with doohickey, and I suppose hang it back up. I'm not gonna keep it.
Doohickey is attached via a chain to the doorknob, so unless you wanted to rip it off, then yeah, it's gonna stay firmly there.
Yeah, in that case, I'll just lock it and sort of... my business is kind of done. I'll leave and, I guess, head over to the Tinker's lab eventually.
Cool. Malifane, you head up to the library, knock, slowly poke your head in to see Quintessa look your way. Malifane, you're back. I mean, I kind of figured you were because construction started up again, and that usually happens when you're here. Malifane?
It's got a life. It's got a life.
I forgot to unmute myself.
Nice.
I see.
Nice.
Oh, let's try this again. Okay. Have you been okay?
I've been doing all right. It was very quiet for a couple of days, which was amazing. And then the strangest thing happened, I would say 3-4 days ago. This man with the head of a fox just appeared in the middle of the library and started reading everything he could get his hands on, saying that it was okay with you and the rest of your group.
I'll be honest with you, the rest of the past few days have been a bit of a blur, but that figure sounds very familiar. Are you sure that he said it was okay?
Yes, he said that a deal had been made, everything in the library was his to peruse at his leisure. I mean, he did put everything back when he was done reading with it, so he didn't seem all that callous, if I believe that's the word.
Are you sure we're talking about the right fox?
I don't know any other people with the heads of foxes. In fact, I didn't know any before he showed up.
It certainly got me there. Well, I suppose it's nothing terrible for the time being, but just we'll keep an eye on him in the meantime. So I heard that we have some new visitors as of late. Did you hear anything about this, or?
Like hearsay once I went to go get things from the mess hall. Apparently, you're talking about the Mantis men, aren't you?
I think so, yes. I think they call them the Thrycreen? Something like that.
I couldn't get a uniform spelling when I tried looking them up, unfortunately. Thrycreen sounds right, but I don't know for sure.
Do we have a book on them anywhere?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It would be... She gets up, starts perusing through. Here, about the various people in the Waste of Dragotha. And she slides the book over towards you.
I'd like to take a look at that, Alex.
Great! You peruse through, flipping through, until you get to the section on Thrycreen. You get a very good look at their particular physiology. Yep. Those are 6 to 7 foot tall mantis men with multiple weapons, multiple arms rather, weapons in each of them. Like one that looks like a glaive with a blade on either end, and one that looks like a 3-pronged throwing dart. The book says that typically they live in the desert, they have nomadic lifestyles, and some of them can camouflage themselves. Apparently they are very territorial and will attack anyone who goes into their territory and starts ruining their natural beauty of the desert. You spend a long time trying to figure out how that balances out.
So, does that make them neutral, a neutral race, or are they more hostile, or...?
That's the thing! Thrycreen speak no language known to man or the races of Irion, and trying to communicate with them is very, very difficult. In terms of alignment, a lot of them could be considered chaotic because they do not follow the code of natural laws or cities or man or anything like that.
This is so bizarre. I've never seen anything like this before.
You also read a little bit about how some of them apparently have some kind of psionic ability. Like, they can move objects with their mind, or completely turn invisible rather than just camouflage themselves.
If they have psionic capability... Wait, you're talking like telepathy, right?
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis, okay. Psychokinesis, okay. By any chance, this wouldn't have any kind of... They wouldn't have any, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have any abilities, like, related to that can harm, do they?
Not directly. Some people who have fought Thrycreen and lived have said that some of these abilities have enhanced their natural weapons. Like, given the weapons the properties of magic to get through resistance, or resistant armor, but the psionic abilities do not directly hurt people.
Okay, but so it's just a direct assist for them, not necessarily for... Okay.
Yes. Also, apparently they're poisonous.
Fun!
Of all things.
This is more just for Scott to know, but like in the grung sense, where they're poisonous to the touch, or...
Venomous, I suppose, would be the more accurate way. Like, if they bite you, you will be poisoned.
Okay. Just curious about that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have a small question. Just because mantises have the ability to spray out a gross little substance from their necks whenever they feel too threatened, can these guys also do that, or not?
No, there are no reports of Thrycreen doing that.
Damn, that's so much safer. Alright, cool, let's do this.
So it says that they're incredibly territorial. That said, I don't see any languages that I can recognize.
I'm sure they have some way to communicate amongst themselves, but from everything I read, they're pretty psycho mantises.
Alex?
Yes?
Alex?
Please die. Oh gosh, okay. Back in character. You'd think if they were so territorial, they would have had some way to communicate with others, though. Strange.
I assume their way of communicating with others would be stabbing.
That is certainly one way to go about it. More hostile they are. Oh, before I forget, I brought you some breakfast. And he hands her one of the apples.
Oh, thank you very much. She takes a bite of it. How long have you had this apple?
maybe it's time I try and get some fresh fruit.
Yeah, that would be great.
Do you want me to get some water? Would that help? I'm sorry. Gosh.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, okay. Here's I just... Here.
Thank you very much. And she takes a drink of water.
Gosh. Thinking about doing some work on the gardens, though. I can just get some fresh crops going then. That might actually be of use.
Yes, I know one of the farms does grain. I'm sure there could be another crop-based farm that does apples. It would be a while, I would assume, before it's ready, though, if you decided to go that direction.
Well, in the meantime, I guess I'll just have to get used to buying my produce.
Yes, that would help.
Definitely more uses than just shooting them off a tree and... Well, anyways. Thanks again for your help, Tessa.
Oh,
I
of
really
course.
appreciate it.
Of course, come by any time.
You know I will.
All right. And you head off. I'm assuming everyone's going to gather for lunch, catch up on what they're doing, get some stuff to eat.
No.
Well,
Momo says no. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, Trevlon was actually going to do what he said he would do and actually check up on Momo and see if they're up.
Okay. Are you going to knock on Momo's door, or are you going to try and kick this one down too?
I think I'm gonna knock.
Okay.
This one time. Oh shit, I should actually do it in real life. I can do that. Wow. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
No, I'll be there just a second. And he just like scrambles, like, ah, jeez. He opens the door, like, hey, you. And he like closes the door behind him, and then you get like a faint whiff of something that's burning.
You said something on fire.
No, honestly, no. There's nothing on fire.
Something's up, though.
Yeah. Okay, so, ever since my deal, weird things have been happening to me. And, like, things have been starting to smell weird and change color. And I don't know why that's happening, and I don't know how to control it.
Well, when you immediately say things are changing color and smelling weird, I immediately go to, well, prestidigitation. That's what that is usually. Pardon me. Oh my god, that is bad. What is... Okay.
I'm sorry,
It's alright.
I can't...
Okay. No. This is fine. I can't
stop thinking about Elias. I can't stop thinking about the face he made and the way he looked, the thing he said before he...
Do the sort of... Do the smells or things changing color happen when that...
No. It just... Well, now it is, but it never happened before. And the fact that it's happening now is not helping.
No.
Whenever the smell starts coming back, I can't stop thinking about when it happened, because it's exactly how it smelled in the cave. It's not helping at all, and I don't know how to stop it.
Well, I don't... I'm interesting. I don't have prestidigitation available to me in the way that most people do. You may remember I got this vest, and Travelot sort of straightens it out. I got it from the first time we went adventuring together. It allows me to... It provides the magic that allows me to cast prestidigitation. However, I do know how to channel that magic, and I could help you with this.
You mean it?
Of course. I mean, Trust me when I say, Prestidigitation is one of the most valuable spells a quick mind can have. But it can also be one of the most annoying if it's used in the wrong way. And you aren't exactly able to control it, and that could get very frustrating for all of us, especially you. So it's the least I can do. Besides, I think the less we reminded of Medil, the better, honestly.
Yeah, that's... Thank you.
So, come with me, we'll head outside and we'll practice. And by the time you're done, you'll be able to change your vase's colour in seconds. And you'll be able to make smells that you actually want. And all that sort of thing.
Thank you.
No worries.
And so you go outside to practice prestidigitation. Meanwhile, the chat has no idea what spell prestidigitation is, despite us repeating prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation?
Okay, my friends, let me teach you something. Well, wait a minute. Why am I the one teaching them? You're the one who has the spell.
I can do.
Prestidigitation is it's basically a very nice illusion spell that you can create instantaneous harmless. Oh, good words, buddy. Instantaneous harmless.
Also, it's a transmutation spell.
Yes, it's an instantaneous harmless sensory effects you can create. You can change colors of things. You can make things smell or taste different. You can light or snuff candles. You can clean things. You can create little marks. You can make non-magical trinkets, which seems kind of broken to me. And yeah, it's most of the effects last 1 hour when it comes to like smells or colors or things like that. Is a good smell. It's a really good smell.
You can also have at least 3 of the effects going at the same time. And if you really read between the lines, you can kind of abuse some of the effects.
Yes, you can.
You can certainly try if the DM's dumb enough to let you.
But you are not.
You're not
Very
dumb.
much not.
Or kind enough to let you.
Which you sometimes are.
Alright.
Anywho
then. I'm just going to go ahead and say that Corellian, all you're going to get from Tinker's Guild consulting with them is, if you want goggles that change lighting level, that's going to be real expensive. If you just want corrective lenses, that's just like 20 gold.
Corrective lenses that maybe function as a kind of, quote, sunglasses?
Sunglasses. I see. Those are going to be, I'm going to say 150 gold. Sunglasses are not cheap in Nereon.
Oh.
Wow.
Carleen winces and just, alright, I think a pair, would you need to have the measurements of the person getting the glasses or the spectacles or whatever?
I mean, so that they don't fall off of his nose. Yeah, that would be great.
I can manage that. In that case, I'll 150, 20 gold. Yeah, I'll put in 170. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Gonna take a couple of days, 2, 3 maybe. And I mean, I could make it a rush job if you paid double. Is the thing if they're really important to you.
I'll get back to you with those measurements and
Alright.
work on it then.
All right, cool. Have a nice day.
You too.
And so you leave, thinking, wait, does every gnome sound the exact same?
No, that would be racist.
That would be racist. Cool. All right. So everyone settles down for lunch, does some quick catch-up. Thabagath is BRBing, so I'm assuming he's going to be late to lunch because he is busy fighting men.
Nope, he's back.
You live.
Or rather, he's walking in the door.
He's walking in the door. He's approaching. Thabagath is rapidly approaching.
We have... Man. He is back!
He is back! Alright, so, after
It's
some...
lunch.
After research, practice, and looking to see how expensive things are, everyone eventually gathers back together for lunch.
Lunch.
Delicious. Very good. What is this?
This is beef stew.
This is
Yummy.
good. I will accept this with open eyes.
Wait, I have to check something real quick. And Tavagath excuses himself from the table. Sorry, it's upstairs. He excuses himself from the table and just wants to jog until he can see the stables.
Okay.
Can you see the ox is still there?
Ox is still there.
Yay.
See sighs of relief and then runs back inside to enjoy.
Oh.
Enjoy beef stew.
I was so slow.
Wait, what?
Okay. I didn't understand why you checked on Ox.
Oh,
Because ox is
Until
delicious.
Now we know. Yum.
So, Malifane takes a bite of the stew, and then looks to the party and says, "So, my mind's a little fuzzy of the last 24 hours or so. Why is the fox here?"
Yowza, that's a loaded question there, mate.
but fox.
He's here so that we didn't all fucking die in the warrens below Murdeal.
Yeah. When he appeared and we gave the rights to access for the Battenrance Hall.
No, it's fine. Blame it on me. I'm the one who signed it and read it and that whole thing.
I feel like I may have. Anyway, he kicked the shit out of the dragon pretty good. I'm fairly certain he helped us win. So I don't think we can feel too bad about that, because we're alive. But we are going to have. Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's entirely. What's the word? He's a mischief maker, but he's not entirely chaotic. The library
That we know of.
the library seems to be in okay shape. I'm just a little nervous, is all.
I think nervous is the right attitude to go with this on. Mr. Fox doesn't strike me as the sort of person who would openly try and, make things go wrong or anything like that. He is a mischief maker, yes, but it's not because he enjoys it. Maybe he does, but I don't think that's his main goal. I think that there's a reason that he wants us alive, and I think that there is a reason he wanted access to the Battenrance Hall, and I think it's more than just causing a fuss. I think he has his own motivations.
We saved our skins from Sindre, saved our skins from Sheepvale.
That was a freebie.
That was the freebie.
Either way, as you said, he does want us alive.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that when you're negotiating something, you never want to be the one on the, well, pardon the language, you never want to be the one on the side that's getting fucked at the moment, because you always get the short end of the deal. And, well, we were getting fucked. So basically we had to take what he was willing to give us. And by we, I mean I, so if anything happens, it's my fucking fault, I guess. I'm sorry.
I think any of us would have signed that deal, mate. I don't think... Listen, down there was horrifying and scary and probably would have resulted in any one of us dying properly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's no need to throw anyone under the cart.
Whatever happens, happens. I don't think we're going to blame you for that.
What?
I think we should all just keep our ears to the ground and make sure that we can get prepared for if he's planning something for.
Agreed.
Oh, God.
Are you okay, big man?
This stew's pretty spicy. Wait. Is it really spicy to everyone else?
No.
No.
Oh, this is oh my god.
Trevor slowly turns to Mo.
Jesus, this is And Thabagath starts like visibly sweating, face going a redder color than it is currently. Just fucking the tongue is out. He's just wafting it. Just, what in the fuck? And
Just out of curiosity, is Jojo or Momo laughing?
I think
Momo's laughing.
both.
Bit of both.
Yeah. As Thavagath is in pain, Trevlon looks to Momo and nods,
Momo's
understanding
like,
the prank.
like,
Noticing that Thavagath is in pain, Malafine is trying to hold back a giggle.
Fair.
I guess the chef must have it out for you, buddy.
Didn't
No,
you
no,
get
what?
ladled from the same pot? Never
Does
mind.
Thavagath... Okay. What would I have to roll to notice Momo's laughing through the sheer blinding pain?
Perception.
Perception.
Not with disadvantage.
Momo's not being subtle at all.
Momo? Oh,
yes,
what did you
ma'am.
do?
I didn't do anything.
What did you do, Momo?
I used prestidigitation. And he makes it stop.
Make that soup taste nice and mild.
Oh, God.
I'm so sorry.
Fucking...
I'm sorry.
Alright then. Sorry. How about this? Thavagath just fucking blows Momo out of the fucking building.
Blows?
Blows?
Yeah, as in Gus doesn't.
Alright, make a strength saving throw, Momo.
Ah, frick. Okay.
Here we go. This ain't his strong suit.
Oh,
Holy mother of fuck.
You
cool to
have
be
been
pranked.
bonded with Serenita, goddess of the wind. You think a mere gust can stop Momo?
Buenos dias, fuck boy.
My god, I've made him too powerful.
Alright, well, Momo's distracted being too cool. Thavagath's gonna kneel down and just flick him on the beak with his powerful, meaty sausage of a finger.
Hey Thav, if you want somebody to blame for that, blame me. I taught him. So, that's my fault.
Thavagath kneels down to Trevlon's manlet size and flicks him also in the schnoz with a powerful sausage of a finger.
well,
Ow.
well, that's certainly one way for a phoenix to rise from the ashes.
Thavagath
Make everything
starts
fine.
mad dogging to that Malafane whilst prepping a flick with his big meaty sausage of a finger.
Like a
Roll an
like
attack. Roll attack. Roll attack.
No, you're faster than him. Don't rub it in. Fucking...
Shut the fuck up. I know you're gonna beat this.
he knows.
Smug little prick. You're fucking...
Right then. Prank aside, what's our plan for this evening? Lord knows I need to be catching up on some Geisel reading.
Actually, Trevlon, before you do that, I just need to take some measurements for the Perlin just sort of like gestures up towards the face area. Was the thing you requested.
Yes, excellent. How much did it come to altogether?
Negligible, honestly.
Can Trevlon roll perception? In
Insight.
fact, insight to see it. Yeah. Trevlon's gonna roll insight on this one. Yeah.
Can I roll
my
deception
God.
just for funsies?
Sure. I don't normally allow people to make insight and deception checks against other player characters, but Corellian's full of shit.
Trevlon squints and says, how much was it in numbers?
It's negligible, Trevlon Bluequill.
Negligible is not a number.
Trevlon, drop it, please.
Mate, you just say that you were
Trevlon,
saving up money for
please,
something else?
Just drop it.
Well, I owe you, that's for sure. So,
No, you don't.
yeah, I do. Anyway, I will make sure I come over for the measurements. I owe you something at some point. And don't say no, because it's true. And it'll happen.
See you later.
Great.
So, is there something I missed, or
This is a prize. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to worry about it regardless.
It'll be a new look for your boy.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I do
after,
have to say,
go ahead.
Trevlon. I'm sorry. I do have to say, Trevlon, I kind of miss the ponytail.
I do
bring it
too. I do too. Ponytail. Maybe. Hell, I don't even know. I'm pretty bad at doing my own hair, so I don't know. Maybe I can find a way.
I was thinking about seeing if I couldn't pull my own feathers into a ponytail. And he kind of like takes his top feathers and pulls them back into like a little man bun of sorts.
I can see how that could work.
Not a bad look for you.
Really? And he scrubbs his hair back. Or feathers, whatever.
I'll tell you one thing.
I'll find a hair tie at some point.
I'll tell you one thing. These clothes are not going to cut it after the fight with the dragon. I might need to get some new threads.
Yeah.
I could also go with some new threads.
New.
I too have something witty to say to imply I'm getting a character design update.
Well, to be fair, Thav, I think you got a pretty good update on your design. Well, more like a nerf, to be honest. But,
Your hand is gone!
God's almighty, really?
You
You're
wouldn't
really
know.
going there?
Oh shit, it is. Would you look at that? How long's that been gone? Would
I
you
don't
guys
know.
like to help me retrace my steps?
I don't know. You tell me. I couldn't tell this whole time. It's like it was never there.
Oh, dear.
Who blackened out Navaga's hand?
Who did that?
I mean, I get it, but who did that?
Me?
Oh, fuck you. Beautiful. Fuck
Oh, I
you.
love this group so much.
Yay.
Yeah. A little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Actually, remind me, out of character, remind me again, is there a place in Port Mirandu that sells, like, different armor or clothing or anything like that?
Loads?
Yeah?
What's up?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
a bunch.
I will research that.
All the shops are actually in the
Yeah.
journal. Like,
Dark
just-
Helmet
no.
has armor and shit.
Dark Helmet has armor, yeah.
Okay, I'll look for shops in my own time.
Cool. Alright. In the meantime, I'm sure you could look for a shop that has traveler's clothes of a different sort, and I will eventually have you find it. Port Mirandu's market is pretty big. Alright. Anyway, lunch is finished, and I think Trevlon is going to go up to look at the complete works of Geisel. What is everyone else going to be doing?
I'm gonna go with Trevlon. I don't really think I have anything else I need to do.
Okay.
Well, never mind.
We have a tinkerer's workshop, don't we?
We do, yes.
And is that occupied by a tinkerer, or is that for use by Corellian?
There's a tinker, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go there.
Alright.
I'll be there, I guess.
Well, shit. I was going to go with Trevlon because I was interested in a good read, but now I don't want to make it 3 a crowd. Shit.
Nothing wrong with
Ain't nothing wrong with 3 a crowd.
Too many
Three's where the
cups,
party
too
starts.
many cups.
I mean, it depends on whether or not you got anything else you have desperately want to do. Maybe try
Not
talking to Mantis
particularly.
Man.
Sorry?
Maybe try have a chat with those mantises.
That is true, but I don't know how successfully that will go.
Only one way to find out.
I suppose. Okay. It's time for Scott to roleplay by himself again. That's always gone well.
Oh
do it. I
boy,
believe in you.
with the mantis men who don't speak your language, it's gonna be fun.
Happiness noise.
All right. So, Trevlon and Momo, you head up to the library. Quintessa greets you and says, I was wondering when you'd come up. I think the Complete Works of Geisel have been here for quite some time, actually. Anyway, they should be right in... She looks over that aisle, and she points you down. You look through. There are a lot of children's books in here. Like, a lot. There are some... like religious texts, like musing on what various gods do. And then there's one that does not have a labeled cover or jacket or anything, like no name on it, just bound together parchments.
I call dibs.
Excuse me, who's been following the Geisel case from the beginning? It's been me. It's my case. So you read some of them other books.
You read the children's books.
Oh, wait, actually, Quintessa, did any books on necromancy come in by any chance?
Yes, they did. We kind of put them towards the back. A lot of people would look at books on necromancy and raise several eyebrows, so, it's for convenience's sake more than anything.
That's very true. Thank you, Quintessa.
Right then.
I was going to go get the necromancy books.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right. You take the book of several, parchments and start looking through them, Trevlon. They are certainly something. A lot of these parchments are just corner to corner, edge to edge, scrawled down nonsense in several languages that you don't understand, shifting midway through. There's some in common, a lot of it looks like it could be in Aarakocran, though no one knows what written Aarakocran looks... let me backtrack. A lot of it looks like written Aarakocran, though Aarakocran stuff written down is few and far between. And you continue to flip through looking for something, and you realize, as you flip through, you don't seem to be getting any further along in this bound set of parchments. It's almost as if, the pages just keep on going and going and going infinitely.
Peculiar. Trevlon would like to roll Arcana.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're sure there's something off about the set of pages, but you're not quite sure, so you just lean in and continue flipping through, because what else are you going to do? You need answers. There's going to be answers in here. So you keep on flipping through, looking for anything. There are occasional ramblings about the author's life that go back hundreds, no, thousands of years, well beyond what the lifespan of an Aarakocra would be. And you keep on flipping through. They talk about gods, rise and fall. You keep on flipping through. They talk about great performances, great written works throughout time that are just cross-referenced in insane footnote after footnote that you'd flip through to try and find, and you just can't, and it's absolutely insane. And eventually, you get to a page that looks to be about the author, written entirely in a language you do not understand, but it does have, finally, a picture of Geisel.
Here he is.
Oh, look at the man!
Looks like...
Interesting looking eyes.
Yep.
Wow.
Trevlon sort of just stares at that for a little while and sort of smiles.
Those
Kind
fucking
of triumph.
wings.
Wait,
And he sort of does he if Trevlon uses prestidigitation to create a trinket or some kind, does that stay forever, or is that only last for a while?
It's
That's
just an
all-
hour.
That's just an hour at
That's only
most.
for an hour. Damn. Right. I'm sure Trevlon will have a piece of paper. He reaches into his satchel, sort of takes out a piece of parchment and tears off a strip and places that on that page, and closes the book. And he he walked over to Quintessa and says, Quintessa, do you know if this book has a name?
She looks over, raises an eyebrow. I don't remember ordering that.
You don't.
I mean, I would certainly hope I would remember ordering something, and certainly I would look for something in much better state of repair than that.
Trevlon looks at the book. He is a combination of skeptical and very eager to find out more. He pauses for thought before having a bit of a moment of brilliance and says, I think I'd like to take this book out for a little while, Quintessa, if that's okay with you.
I mean, by all means, this is a library.
It definitely is.
I have a question.
And
Yes?
Does that picture, guys, does that look like Ishka?
No.
Nice try.
I was on something.
Ishka's a vulture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Iska is a vulture.
I completely forgot. I'm sorry.
Similar facial structure, though, kind of.
Black absorbs light, white reflects it.
Alright, proceed. Sorry.
Alex, speaking of Ishka, does he generally haunt the basement, so to speak?
Generally, yes.
Trevlon nods to Quintessa and says, shouts out to the library, I'm going to pop in and have a little chat with the major domo of the house. You'll be all right here, won't you, buddy?
Oh, yeah, I'll be fine.
Then. And Trevlon starts to head down.
Cool. You head out. Momo, anything in particular you're looking for in these books on necromancy?
Just necromancy in general, or how-to spells, or something more of detecting where the dead is, or building a body that looks more alive than undead. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, you look around how to detect bodies and get the idea that graveyards are going to be your best bet if you want to find a body. And as for how to make it look more alive, it recommends a lot of makeup and costuming, and also a lot of fresheners, because the dead smell really bad. Decomposition is one of the hardest things to hide about a dead body.
Is there anything about fully, resurrecting a person?
Yes, there are spells that can fully bring someone back from the dead, soul intact, not as an undead. Among them would be Revivify, which you know, Raise Dead, Resurrection, and True Resurrection.
I'm gonna hold on to this book.
Okay. You hold on to the book for further research because a lot of it seems a bit too complex for you at the moment.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm gonna go back to my room and get more attuned to that amulet, if there's any more attuning that I need to do.
Alrighty. Hold on, I'm just writing something down to keep my own notes straight. Yay!
Oh boy.
Okay. So, Thavacath and Corellian, you head up to the Tinker's Guild.
Really quickly, I actually would probably go to the Smiths for hinges instead.
Smiths for hinges instead. Cool.
I was actually realizing myself Smiths would probably be better for what I'm after as well.
Cool.
Okay.
So that's kind of convenient and also really creepy.
Alright, you do an about face and head down to the smithy instead.
Like we both just silently in sync about face.
Yes.
Like,
Whoop. Bryce is currently on his lunch break out in the back, but Gugmek is still working, hammering away at what look to be pauldrons, gauntlets, and other miscellaneous pieces of armor.
Yay.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going first. That was.
No, don't.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, one of you should go first.
Good idea. Right. Do you have anything you can strap to this stump for the time being?
He looks up, sees you are missing a hand, raises an eyebrow. I can strap anything if you want it to be prehensile. Good luck.
What does prehensile mean?
It means you can use fingers.
Oh. Yes. Don't laugh at me. Got anything blunt?
He holds up just this, kind of half-formed iron gauntlet. Once I finish this, I could slide this on. It will always be closed hand.
Sounds hot, let's do it.
Gugmek slowly nods, goes back to hammering away.
Thavagath kind of goes, how long, Mish?
I have many orders to get through. You are last in line.
So, like, couple weeks, week?
10 day at most.
Okay, cool. And then he just leaves.
There you go.
Without saying thank you?
He doesn't seem like, Gugmek doesn't seem like the one to stand in ceremony.
Gugmek is Gugmek.
Fair enough.
Eventually, Gugmek looks up, sees Corellian still standing there. And what do you want?
You don't happen to have any hinges, do you?
Not on me. I can make them.
Whatever would be easier, if you could just tell me how to do it, maybe I could get those done and not bother you further. Just need to fix a door that is certain. Corellian just sort of like jabs a thumb back in the direction that Thabagath left. Someone and then someone else did in one of the doors, and I need to fix it.
Gugmek rolls his eyes. Alright, get mold ready. We'll see if you're good at anything.
Yeah.
For the sake of expediency, make a Smith's Tools check dexterity.
Okay, this is... I still had one more long rest to do before I got proficiency, so I'll just make a dexterity check since I'm not proficient yet.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a save, but it's still 0, so...
It's still 0. You make pretty passable hinges with Gugmek's instruction.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll, get out of your way and, go sort things out.
Gugmek just watches you leave, gives a very slow wave as you close the door. Meanwhile, Malifane, you go over towards some of the tenements. They are just finishing up serving lunch over there. And you walk inside, and it's not hard to spot 2 giant man-sized mantises chatting with each other in a corner near one of the bunks in the tenements.
Okay, so before anything happens, I'm just gonna make use of this, yoink. So I'm probably gonna be spending a good chunk of the day and/or next 2 days.
Okay.
That said, do they look like they're doing anything in particular, or of anything of interest? Or are
Make
they
an
just
insight
talking?
check.
Kiddo. Insight. I put expertise into this.
Nice.
That's
That's
okay.
why you have expertise in this.
Yeah.
Just observing them for a couple of minutes, you don't think they're talking about anything of particular import to you. Like, a lot of their language is clicks and clacks, mandibles going back and forth. So what those could mean, you don't know particularly.
Is there anyone else passing through at the moment, other than the I already forgot the Thrycreen, or
Other than the Thrycreen, Rihanna is talking to a couple of Okidi in a separate corner of the tenement buildings.
I'm honestly trying to figure out what to do from here. Just because, okay, out of character, here are my options the way I see it right now. Just observe / stalk the Thrycreen, or
Fucking weird.
yeah, which is why I'm hesitant about it. Or talk to another NPC about the going-ons about the Thrycreen being here.
Out of
Well,
character,
I'm
I can't wait to do some drawing. I love drawing so much. Maybe drawing is a good thing for communication, but that's not my thoughts. That is.
I feel like you're hinting at something.
Man, if
Yes.
I were a mantis man, drawing would be really easy to communicate things. Ooh, the imagination of man, I suppose.
Better than charades.
That's for sure.
Wait a minute. I'm an idiot. I have calligrapher's supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? F it. Let's do that.
Do it well.
So, I'm going to pray that they know general hand gesture. Oh wait, do they have hands? Do they have hands?
They have multiple hands. They've got like 4 hands.
Good.
Even mantis has those.
Malifane is going to walk up to one of them and just wave hello first. Then, in the hopes that at least one of them knows that much.
You walk up to the mantis men. You wave. The one that's facing you stops click-clacking, looks up, stands a bit more upright. The other one stops, turns around to face you, also stands a bit more upright. One of them tilts its head at you as it looks down at you.
Actually, out of character, Alex, did the book say anything about their written language, or?
It said that if they have a written language, people have not been able to decipher it. Mostly, they use crude diagrams or drawings if they need to communicate with other races.
Cool. That doesn't help. Let's try this then. Mal is going to. So wait, what did you say they were doing before this?
They were just chatting.
All right. In that case, Mal was just going to his head, just in curiosity.
Sorry, say again? You cut out a little bit.
Just sort of cock his head in curiosity, hoping that maybe they understand what he's doing. Maybe, like,
Alright.
what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you up to?
The Thrycreen look at each other, do some more clacking, look back at you.
Mal is going to draw a picture of 2 people just talking to one another, and then put like a giant question mark at the top.
Alright. As you turn the picture to face them, one of them just grabs the pencil and paper from your hands, looks at it, and draws a little upward-facing arrow on the picture, turns it around so you can see it, turns it back around to face him, draws a very crude-looking stick figure with pointy ears, draws a question mark, hands it back over to you.
What is up with you? I get it. Malifane will take the paper and... Wait, we don't have erasers in this world. Fuck!
Oh, fuck!
I guess Mal will just take a page from his journal and draw a picture of an elf, a half elf, just walking around and talking to mantis men, or essentially that's what they are.
Okay. They take the picture, look down, look back up at you, look down at the picture, look back up at you, look at each other, do some more click-clacking. They draw more crude stick figures of elves. Then they draw one that looks like it has kind of the shirt that you're wearing. An arrow pointing to that. Crossed out lines through the other elves, and then more question marks towards you.
Scott is actually stumped about this one.
Insight checks.
Okie doke. Insight checks. Come on.
All right. Given the way that they are drawing very similar looking elves, but then specifying you with an arrow pointing to you, you think they're asking, who are you, as opposed to what you are doing?
Who are you? Okay. Malifane will take the piece of paper back, write down his name on it, and then I guess draw a picture of Battenrance Hall and put like a little arrow pointing to the hall, just sort of signify. Also draw Trevlon, Momo, etc. Just say, hey, we're one of the. I'm one of the people who runs the place, and hands it back to them.
All right. I'm assuming you're also drawing little indicators to connect the figures of you and the party to Battenrance Hall.
Yes.
All right. They lean in close to study the drawing, click-clack at each other, and then they draw little stick figures of themselves, basically, the Mantis Men, coming towards Battenrance Hall with a pile of what looked to be weaponry. Like, there's the double-bladed spears, there's the bladed disc darts on them, behind the Thrycreen, and then a crossed-out circle surrounding the pile of weapons. And they hand it back to you.
I think I get the weapons part. Possibly a trade of some sort. I don't understand the circle, though.
Insight.
Oh boy. I'm assuming I'm not going to be able to get consistent insight unless I make a nat 20 or a nat 1.
That is correct, because what they're writing about consistently changes.
Okay.
Speaking of consistency, though, it doesn't appear to be for trade. The crossed-out circle is over the pile of weapons. Crossed-out circle possibly means no. So, what that no means when it involves the weapons is no weapons, and the Thrycreen are approaching Battenrance Hall, so it's possible that this pictogram means we do not come to harm you. We come in peace.
Okay.
Kind of what I thought.
I want to phrase this next one. I should know how to draw this. I guess Malifane will draw the little Mantis Men, the Thrycreen, and the tenements, just sort of have these little indicators bring them to them, and then draw himself sort of extending an arm towards the tenements, just sort of just indicate, make yourselves at home. We are more than happy to offer space to you.
All right. They look at this, look it over, click-clack among themselves, draw a single upward-facing arrow, and hand it back.
Cool. I don't know what to do from here, and I really don't want to stalk them, so, I guess I'll just wave goodbye and be on my way, but still sort of watching over them.
All right. With unblinking eyes and unmoving posture, one of them waves back very stiffly with one of its hands.
This is kind of adorable in a strange sense.
Okay. And so you step back, sit on one of the spare tenement beds, and just kind of stare at Thrycreen.
I said
You stare at the Thrycreen stealthily.
Do I need to make a stealth check too?
No.
Okay.
I'm just
thank
gonna say,
you.
eventually they get that you're not suspicious of them and go back to talking amongst themselves, occasionally casting glances at other passers-by in the tenements.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So, Momo, you catch up to Trevlon as he heads down into the basement.
Oh, going with him. Fantastic. Okay.
I mean, I didn't know where else you were going. I just assumed you were going back with Trevlon.
Good assumption. I probably would have gone there. Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I think Trevlon is BRBing.
I'm back.
Oh no!
I'm back.
Oh,
Don't
good,
worry.
good.
I'm back.
He's
I'm quite
returned.
back.
He's back. All right.
Vic.
The both of you head down to the basement. Jail cell, thankfully, continues to be unoccupied, and the Arcanist research room continues to be there.
Trevlon sort of takes a breath in and then notices Momo has followed him and sort of has a bit of a start and sort of readjusts his hat and goes,
Oh. I'm sorry.
That
I
you
didn't
would-
mean to spook you. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine. This isn't... I think I found something really interesting, and I think I'm going to have a chat with somebody who might... I need to chat with someone who knows how to read the Aarakocran language. And, yeah.
Oh, can I give it a try?
Have you ever read Aarakocran?
It's worth a shot.
I mean... You know what? Sure. I think it's a good idea if you have a look at this guy as well, because I've been looking for him this entire time. And Trevlon takes out the book and opens the book at the place where they're bookmarked.
All right. Momo, you open up... Well, Trevlon opens up the book, and you see the About the Author page with the image of Geisel. A lot of the About the Author actual information is written in very archaic language, like a bunch of thous, these, the Aarakocran equivalent of Old English. So it's kind of hard to decipher, but you do know the sigils and symbols that Aarakocran uses as a written language. And basically, it says, Geisel is a researcher and entertainer from the far-off city of... You do not recognize the exact city name. It looks to be just complete gobbledygook to you. And then the next sentence is just, he lives.
Oh my god.
You read something interesting?
Yeah, I read the whole thing. I relay what Alex said, and it says at the bottom here, it says he lives.
Trevlon takes a look at the page and would like to see if that part of the page is written in the same way, in the same hand as the rest.
Good call.
Alright, make a perception check.
Perception. Hot diggity.
All of this is written consistently in the exact same handwriting. Like, some of the ink is faded over time, a lot of the pages have degraded, but the exact penmanship is consistent completely throughout. This is the work of one writer.
And he just writes, he lives at the end.
Does Geisel look
That's-
familiar to me?
You do not recognize Geisel.
That's an odd biography. I understand reading it in the third person. That happens a lot, but... What an eerie thing to write it off with. And you said there was a weird city, yeah? That you didn't really understand what
It just looks like a whole bunch of gobbledygook to me.
Well, maybe we'll have reason to have a chat with Ishka after all.
Ishka?
Yeah, he's an Aarakocra. I thought that Ishka might be able to lend some...
Mama kind of like raises an eyebrow.
What I mean to say is he would know about old Aarakocran stuff, you know? He was an Aarakocra when they were around.
Right, yeah. Okay, let's do this.
Ishka, are you around?
Of course
Trevor
I'm
says
around.
to
You
the-
hear a voice right behind you.
Oh, fantastic. That's definitely not intrusive. Hi. It's been a while, hasn't it? How...
Alright. As you get used to hearing Ishka's voice right behind you, turn around and see absolutely nothing there. You hear him sigh. So you dug more holes in the ground.
We did. On the plus side, it is going to mean that we're going to be getting probably a lot more revenue for this place in the long run. Why know for a fact that I'm going to be putting a lot more into the actual place itself? Yeah. I apologize about that, Ishka. I know that we said that we'd do up the place, and I know that we told you that we'd try not to ruin the grounds as much as we could.
And
I know that
instead,
this-
you decided to make more and more workshops and farms. You decided to ally yourself with the Dullahan.
Well, we're not enemies, I guess. Ishka, I promise you, the next time we come back from a mission, or at least I come back from one, I'm putting all of my money on this building. I promise you.
See that you do, or I will be most upset.
Perfect. Right. Now that the pleasantries are out of the way, I was wondering if you could lend me a little bit of your insight on something.
What?
Trevlon opens the book. You see, Momo had a read of this, and he understood it as much as he could, but there was one thing that was kind of illegible, or at the very least a bit more like gobbledygook than anything else. I figured that you might have a better shot at understanding what it means. Momo, could you point to the word that you were a bit confused?
Of course, and he does so.
Like 2 seconds pass before Ishka says, that reads Delphis.
The freeze.
Delphis. Where is that?
It should be on the eastern coast of Irion. Do you have a map?
Do
I think I have a map on me at the moment. I could pull it up. I would assume that Trevlon would have a map just for reference.
I know that someone had the map.
Someone has the map.
I assume it's Trevelyan at this point.
Let's just... Yes. Please. Let me have the map.
Hold on, I can see.
Trevlon, either way it takes out, is going to see if he can find the map.
All
On his person or otherwise.
You pull out the map, unfold it. Oh dear. Looks to be water there now.
Oh. Delphis. Has Trevlon heard this name before?
I do not believe you have recently. Make a history check, though.
History check.
There are a lot of sunken cities around Irion. Delphis is one of them.
So, it was a sunken city then.
Indeed.
And
Wait,
this
sunken? Like,
underwater, like fully submerged. Think the city of shimmering lights, except
I
Yeah.
sorry.
it's okay.
Were
sorry,
you just
I
about to
think
say the
conversation.
shitty of Simmering Lights?
No, I should have done that. That would have been hilarious. Anyway,
Ishka, do you perhaps know anyone of the name of Rancol?
Rancol? No. I cannot say that name sounds familiar. Why is it of import to you?
Mama pulls out the amulet that Orias gave him.
You hear an audible gasp from Ishka. Where did you get that?
My master gave it to me. He said my parents had it, and then he gave it to me. I'm in dreams. I was able to talk to Sirenata.
Sirenita, you uncultured little brat.
I'm sorry. She said that when my master was captured and held captive, one of the names that she heard was Ranko.
I know nothing of this Ranko.
And she also said that it was that Orias was held somewhere in a place of water.
Can Trevlon roll history on Rankol?
Absolutely.
This is the first time he's heard it.
This is the first time you've heard the name Rankol.
Right, fair. And a city of water.
Not entirely a city of water, but just somewhere with water.
And you know of no one else who would know of this Rankol.
Well, we wouldn't know them personally. I have a few people in mind, but they're absolutely homicidal and they'd kill us as soon as they met us. I have a question, if you don't mind me interrupting yours, Momo.
Go ahead.
What do you know of Geisel, Ishka?
The children's book author? Apparently he writes a lot of books about ducks going quack.
Was he alive in your time?
Oh yes, of course. Very prolific.
Aarakocra don't live long, do they? Not to be rude, but that's true.
Would you like me to find a shovel so you could dig an even deeper hole?
Yeah, no, I'll be good. Point being, an Aarakocra living hundreds of years, that's not usual, right?
That does not happen.
I have to think about some things, but, well, I'll tell you this much, Ishka, since you're interested. Geisel might still be alive. Either that... No, that can't be right. He can't be just under a different pen name. I saw his picture. There's... Oh, this is so weird. Geisel's been writing this entire time. He's been writing recently. And you're telling me he's from your time as well. And he published books.
Okay, back up. You said I was interested.
Never mind.
Alex, did I read anything in my book of necromancy about extending life?
You were focused on how to detect dead people or make them look like they weren't undead, so that was not your area of focus in studying.
I still have the book, right?
Yes.
Can I look through it real quick?
Make a religion check to get to the pages you want.
Okay.
You fail to persuade the book to get to the page you want.
Oh, whoops.
But religion,
Accidental.
there's a lot to go through in a big old general textbook of necromancy.
If you were looking for what I thought you were looking for, then I think it might be... Well, Has Trevlon ever heard of something like this? Like, extending one's life for that long?
Religion check?
Religion, not his best.
You've read stories, but they were just like stories, no specifics.
I mean, I've heard stories, but nothing concrete.
Also,
And yet,
find anything about that.
that would be great, because, well, now we have an understanding of why Geisel might be important. Well, we had an understanding already. He has some weird connection to dark, horrible forces beyond our control that he seems to know a lot about. Now he might be an immortal, which I'm fairly certain would be a very tempting prize for any evil person to get their hands on. Immortality is, well, a lot of people want to make themselves that, and they do a lot of things to do it. So, either...
I have a way of finding out what this could possibly be, besides the book, but I'll see what I can do.
Cool. Thank you, Momo. I really appreciate that.
Yes, of course.
I,
I'm gonna go do that. And he kind of like excuses himself and then like runs back to his room.
Whee!
And as he does that, Trevelyan has a think and looks at the book and is just kind of perturbed by it. There is the Arcanist lab is down here, isn't it?
Yes.
Presumably they'd be able to do some actual... They'd be able to have a look at this thing and go, I know what this might be, in terms of how magical it is and stuff like that.
You presume so.
Cool. Trevelyan's going to pop into the Arcanist's lab for a chat.
You do so, you open up the door, Torqualan looks around. Oh my god, does no one knock?
No, sorry. Trevelyan closes the door and knocks.
Come in!
Thank you. Trevelyan opens the door.
Oh, hi, Trevelyan, I didn't expect to see you.
Hi, I didn't expect to be down here. As soon as I did, we've just gotten back from our hilarious adventures in dragon hunting, and it went great. I need your assistance, if either of you two are around, to give it. This book. It's weird. I think it's magical.
All right.
Yeah.
You plop the book down. Torqualan takes one look at it. Oh yeah, that's magic!
What's magical about it?
It just stinks of magic, man. Like, you can just keep on flipping through it. It keeps on being written, you know?
Keeps on being written. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Is there a name for something like...
Probably. I'm not really book smart. North!
Is Nibbles around?
Nibbles is always around, always scheming. You hear Nibbles say.
Hi, Nibbles. You're pretty well versed in things, from my perspective.
I also can't read. I'm a mouse. I don't know what you expected.
Well, wait. Trevelyan has a thought, thinks of her a minute, sort of scratches his chin, and sighs, and goes, well, have you heard of any books that can just write themselves for basically pages and pages and pages infinitely? Is that a thing you've heard of?
It is now.
Well, fair enough. I have to hold on to this. I'm going to keep having a look at it in the library. Thanks, you both, for your help.
Oh, no problem! I'm in a service!
Trevelyan gives the thumbs up and tips his hat as he exits the room and heads back up to the light.
Excellent. All right. So, was there anything else that Thavagath and Corellian wanted to do, or are they turning in for the day?
I'm fixing Malaphane's door and then waiting around until Trevelyan shows up so I can take his measurements for spectacles.
I'm waiting for Corellian to finish fixing the door so I can taunt him by pretending to break the door down.
You fool bastard.
You fool. You absolute buffoon. Alright, so as Chevlon heads up from the basement and heads back towards the library, the door gets fixed.
Great.
I'd like to make a performance check to convince Corellian that I've broken the door.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh, dear.
No, damn it.
Corellian would like to feint a punch to Thavagath's nuts and then pull back
Alright.
in
So
retaliation.
basically, you're headbutting Thav directly in the nuts.
I'm fainting it. I'm pretending to go for him and then just letting it happen.
Faint with an
Roll
E, not faint
even
with an
head, but
A.
this is
Okay.
ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah.
Roll performance, Corellian.
You're not the DM.
I want to see.
I've
Or
heard of giving
deception.
head, but this is ridiculous.
Isn't it to help?
Bitch.
Ah,
Bitch.
okay. Davagath shrieks with a womanly fear.
Don't dish it if you can't take it.
But yeah, no, that'll be him turned in for the night.
Cool. All right. Malifane, I'm assuming you're just going to spend the rest of the night studying the Thrycreen.
I guess.
Okay.
Intently staring at all of them.
All right. So with that done, you think you only need half a day more to rudimentally communicate without pictures with the Thrycreen, and you go turn in for the night.
Ooh.
Yeah. Momo.
Before. Oh, yeah.
Momo, you're back in your room. What exactly are you doing?
I want to summon Serenita and see if I can't ask her about Geisel.
All right, this is your usage for the 10-day. As you call forth Serenita, and she cocks her head upon seeing you. How may I help you?
Good evening, Serenita. I have a couple questions if you don't mind my asking.
Of course.
Would you happen to know anyone by the name of Geisel?
She slowly nods. That I do. In olden days, he was a cleric. I wish I could say of my order, but there were other, more appealing gods. In fact, there were many of them, so he dedicated his study to all the gods he knew of. Once he exhausted his research there, he continued spreading his search for knowledge further and further, finding gods both known to the natural world and far, far beyond it. One of them seemed intrigued, entertained, something by his search, and decided to give him eternal life so that he may always continue to study there. I believe they said brilliance, she said, rolling her eyes.
You wouldn't happen to know the name of this deity, would you?
I unfortunately would not. We wiped the name out as best we could.
I see. Is there any way that I could find it?
I would say yes, but I would strongly caution you against it. Many who go learning about the old voice go mad.
Oh! I see.
It's my friend.
My second question. Thank you. This
course,
is
of course.
so much more than I could ever ask for. But do you know anyone by the name of Ishka?
I cannot say the name rings a bell. Why? Why do you ask?
He's a spirit who lives in the basement of Battenrance Hall.
I see. Unfortunately, I cannot say I know the names of all the children of the sky. If he was not an active worshipper of my order, then my knowledge would be very limited.
I see. Thank you, Serenita.
Indeed.
Thank you so much.
Did
This is
you...
more help than I could think.
By the way, did you learn anything more about this Orankle?
Unfortunately not.
I see.
I'm doing the best I can.
Well, if you know of any other potential sources of information, people who would know information others keep hidden, I would strongly advise sending a message out to them somehow.
I see. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
She
He bows his head.
She bows back, looks back up. I should let you know, though, that it will take some time for me to gather the strength to appear before you again. Try not to rely too much upon the amulet's power in the meantime.
Yes, ma'am. I'll use it responsibly.
And she disappears in a gust of wind.
I am going to run to Trevlon.
Okay. Trevlon, you're in the library, so Momo runs through in the middle of... What are you doing in there, Trevlon?
Reading the book.
Reading the book.
First of all, out of character, can I just say, let my fucking fiance sleep? Thank you.
I'm sorry, this is
Anyways.
important.
It's not too... Wait, what time of night is it, actually?
Sun is set. You're not
Okay,
at the
Trevlon.
usual 4 in the fucking morning studying sessions.
I guess Trevlin will start getting ready to bed after he finishes reading a little. That's what he says.
Alright. That's what he says.
That's what he says.
Momo would just like burst through the door like, Trevlon!
Okay, we're gonna have to get new door hinges. What's up?
I think I know what made Geisel immortal!
You do? Tell me.
I spoke with Serenita. She said that she knew who Geisel was, and that he researched all sorts of deities, and that... The old voice!
Go on.
Something about the old voice, like, was... I believe that was what was... I think that's what gave him eternal... Sorry, I just...
It's okay. So the old voice is related to his immortality. That would be an interesting concept. Would I be able to roll... What would it be? Would it be history or insight or something like that to sort of see if Trevlon can make a connection between that concept, like living endlessly, and the old voice?
Religion.
Religion, baby.
Also, if I misunderstood anything, I'm super sorry.
It's okay. Blast.
Seems plausible. Momo probably heard something else from Serenita that might be important.
Did you hear anything else from her?
What did I learn?
You received a suggestion
Nothing,
that maybe
apparently.
you should ask someone who is very knowledgeable about the world and who might deal in covert missions about Rancol.
Right! I probably should! She said that I should... She said that I should find anyone that I can about finding out who Rencol is.
Why did you want to know about that thing again, by the way?
Rencol?
I heard you talk about it down there, but... You know, first time I've...
Rencol? Well, like I said, Serenita said that Rencol was with my master when he was first captured.
I see. Another one of the old sort of evil sorts. Great.
Yeah.
Well, we know at least one person who's worldly and does strange covert missions for his own needs and is a friend of ours.
We do.
We do. We should probably have a chat with him about that when he next comes.
Yes.
Maybe you can send him a message.
I should. We're talking about Old Ran, right?
Yes. Yes.
I'm so sorry.
It's
So
okay.
stupid.
It's okay, don't worry. We're both a couple of
You're
dumb
not
shits.
stupid.
It's fine.
Shut up. I'll fight you.
I mean, he's a little stupid.
Okay. I'm gonna send a message to...
What time is it again? Just real quick. Just for fun. just
Sun
wondering.
has set. He might still be up.
Okay. I'm gonna send a message to Old Ran.
Do it.
Get now. Okay. I'm going to say, prepare the spell. I say, Old Ran, would you happen to know anyone by the name of Rencol?
Also, tell him we beat the dragon. We killed it.
Also, we killed the dragon. Yes.
Yes.
It's been a day. I'm sure he knows. Somehow.
Somehow.
More than a day.
It's
I
been a
say
couple.
all of that. I say all of that, but more civilized and more prepared because I'm not good at that. So
It's okay.
All right. You send the message out. A minute passes, and then you hear back. Did you? How very interesting. I look forward to discussing this with you at the Fiery Grog Tavern.
What'd he say?
He said, interesting. I look forward to discussing this with you all at the Fiery Grog Tavern.
The Fiery
Sure,
Grog?
he didn't say y'all.
I know he didn't. Get off my ass!
So wait, he said Fiery Grog, not here. He didn't even say when.
He didn't say when, just Fiery Grog Tavern.
You know,
I don't want to travel anymore.
well, if it makes it any easier, we have at least some good roads now, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get there.
That's true.
It'll only be for the day, and instead of it being some horrible mission that we're going to probably get killed on, we're just having a nice day trip. And I think it would be a good idea to get the whole crew together for this one. Do you agree?
Yes, I think we should discuss this. Should we tell them now or in the morning?
Morning. I think that it might be a good idea. I'll tell Corellian now. Jesus, I completely forgot about the specs. Okay. Right. Trevelyan quickly takes the book and stuffs it into his satchel, looks to Momo and goes, "You've been great today. I think I may have made more progress in this thing than I have in months, so thank you, mate."
Of course. Do you think I could take a look at the book?
Trevelyan...
Kind of makes like little grabby hands at it.
Why do you want it so bad?
I mean, if I could read the author's note, who's to say I couldn't read the whole book? I know it's, like... I know you said it keeps on going and going, but... I could read
There's something off about it. As soon as I'm sure that it's safe, you can have it.
Okay.
Fact of the matter is that you're probably one of the strongest ones here, and I'd prefer it if you didn't get diddled with by this thing, mentally.
I wouldn't say strong...
You can set people on fire like it's a snap.
So
I wouldn't mess with you.
a match!
Yeah, you can do it more though, so that's that. Anyway, I'm gonna go talk to Corellian. As soon as I have an understanding of what the hell this book actually is, magically wise, you can have it. Okay?
Alright.
Okay.
Thanks again, Momo. I'll see you in the...
He heads Trevlon and goes to bed.
Cool. And Trevelyan, you head out, catch up with Corellian.
Mate, sorry, it's been a long day. Lots of things. Geisel information came to me, had to research. Are you available to
Out of character, I presume you knocked on Corellian's door
Yes.
or something,
Yeah.
and they just blearily opened it up and just sort of leaned against the door frame, listened to you
Yes.
rattle all this off. You just come again. What did you want?
measurements?
Right.
All the
Yes.
specs.
Yeah. Come in. Carl will sort of open the door. Mosca is taking up the entire bed. Just take a seat. Curly walks over and sort of bodily moves Mosca's tail out of the way so that there's space on the bed.
Trevlon sort of falls back into Moshka very happily.
Right, if you weren't so comfortable, I would ask you to sit up, but I'm sure I can get this done. Whatever. And Krellin will sort of perch sort of on the side of the bed and take some measurements, sort of from, across the face, measurement from sides of the ear. That's everything that, would possibly be necessary to make the spectacles.
Cool. You get that done. Not gonna have you make a check for it, because no real consequences for failure.
Great. Well, that's I think that's everything we need. Is there... You're free to go, I guess. Oh?
Before I forget, we had to contact Old Ran about something important. He basically told us to meet him in the Fiery Grog Tavern, and he didn't give us a time or a date for that, so I think we should just go tomorrow. If you're not busy, that is.
Colin just sort of looks at you. Yes, I had so many... Yes, we'll go.
Wait.
I'm fine with going tomorrow. I didn't have any plans. It's fine.
Wait, quick
You don't have to
question.
ask me.
Where are you two right now? Where are you two talking?
Carlene's room.
Okay, cool. You hear this?
You know, you could just send him another message.
You know, you could just send him another message to clarify? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Alright.
Makes sense.
Didn't know the walls were so fucking thin.
It's not that the walls are thin, it's that Thav is loud.
It has a glass placed against the wall and Steve up against it.
Yeah, wait, Savagath, what are you... What? Never mind.
That's my loud boy. Trevlon sort of lifts himself up from Mushka, points in the direction of Momo's room, casts a message, and says, "Ask if we're meeting tomorrow."
Okay. He's tie-tie. Okay, he
Quiet.
prepares a spell, asks Old Man, what are the specific... Is there a specific time and date that you want us to meet you there, or as soon as possible? Oh.
That'll be like
Do
just
it.
a second.
Yeah. You'll get your spell slots back after the long rest, which is basically once you turn in for the night.
Yay.
You hear back? As soon as possible.
Okay, Momo gets out of bed, goes to Corellian's room, knocks on the door like,
Carlene just sort of like sighs, gets up from the bed, opens the door, just gestures into the bed, looks, sees that it's basically completely occupied by Muska and Trevlon on a corner, and just like moves like one of Muska's like back legs and just sort of like shifts her over so she's more curled up. Take a seat.
yes. He just looks at like ecstasy in his face, like, I get to sit on Muska, yes!
Don't sit on her, just lean on her.
That's what I meant. He does so, and he just like sinks into Muska's fur. Oh, right. Old Ren said as soon as possible. So, best to go tomorrow.
Oh, crikey, this is gonna be... I don't think that we've had a quicker sort of runaround period with him, have
I don't
we?
know.
Usually we have to wait. This must be serious.
I wonder if it's either about the dragon or the anything.
I'd expect it to be Rantar. I think that'll be the tick in the box, so to speak. Yeah,
Wait,
right.
Ren called Old Ren?
I think
Trevlon sort of looks. Trevlon looks at Momo, sort of blinks one eye and then another, and goes, "You know, if I were less tired, I'd sort of follow that."
I don't know. It's just a shot in the dark. It's just, I'm also very tired.
I don't know whom the fuck you're talking about, but unless you're spending the night... Krillin just sort of like makes like a half-hearted like gesture like between the bed and the door and the bed and just
You know, tonight is going to be a night where I lie on my own bed and I should go before I fall over. And Trevlon stumbles out.
Almost already.
Thanks, Corelli.
He was too comfy.
yeah, right. Carlin just sort of like blinks owlishly, gently closes the door, does a little tap on Thabagath's room. Good night, Thabagath. I know you're still listening.
All right.
Good night.
You all head to bed and wake up in the morning to the sounds of construction.
Well, better tell Malifane and Thav that we're having a date. I guess Trevlon immediately just hops up and pokes his head into their...
You go to wake up Thav and Malifane with news that, hey, we're heading out towards Port Mirandu.
I'd like to roll to stay asleep.
Oh no.
Roll the
Oh
blood
no.
brains out.
I get the persuader out.
Chicken bait comes in with a gun!
That's
Time
the
or
good
not.
one.
Oh no, chicken baby, the gun is terrifying.
I want a picture of this.
That has many wounds, fuckboy.
28 gun wounds.
You do not stay up. Trevlon can be very loud and he has musical instruments.
Do you want me to drag the pipe organ in? I can do
I
it.
was just thinking, Trevor waking people up with the pipes of haunting.
Oh god.
That would be the worst.
God.
What about the barrel organ?
Actually, quick question. Like, just on a mechanic wise, do you reckon if you gently blew on the pipes of haunting near someone who was asleep, if you'd give them a nightmare?
Ooh.
Ooh, interesting.
Or would it wake them up?
That's an interesting one that
Continue,
Trevor
continue.
will never use because he's too nice for that unless he... Nah, he could use that. He'll
We
use
might need
that.
it.
All right. So,
morning.
Yeah, we're going to Port Mirandu today. Big field trip. All rounds there. Got him. What did you say?
I said, oh, goody.
Ah, good. Yeah. So, get your stuff ready. I'll catch you downstairs.
Oh, boy. Does Battenrance have any horses beyond Squishy?
it does not. Just squishy.
Does not. Just has Squishy. And we don't have the cart, we just have the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a 2-horse drive, so... Guess probably not using either. Oh well. Goes down for breakfast then, I suppose.
Yeah, what's for beef fast?
What's for breakfast?
What's for breakfast? Hash browns.
Yes!
Yes.
Happy
Are we talking-
noise.
Wait, are we talking like McDonald's hash browns or actual like hash browns?
Actual hash browns. It's like roast cornmeal.
Yes.
Oh.
I suppose I'm going to have to never move again, because I'm going to lapse into a small coma after a heat beat.
And so you do not go down towards Port Mirandu having eaten far too many hash browns. We'll see you next episode on...
No.
Hold on, I'm sorry, Trevlon could not join us. He's currently dead.
He's dead. He died of food poisoning.
One is in coma with food baby.
He wouldn't wake up, and we are in an era of medicinal misunderstanding, so I assumed he was dead instead of comatose, so I killed him.
He's already buried.
I chopped him up and used him as mulch. He was effective for this year's crops.
Gods above.
Squishy
this is
finds
really
him delicious.
shit breakfast talk. I'm gonna go. I'll see.
I'm
you
not
when we
hungry
leave.
anymore. I think I'll skip breakfast.
Bevagath heartily takes the plates of both Momo and Karain as they leave.
I'm just gonna drop off the measurements with Panry. That's basically it.
Cool.
Cool.
Mal table with a piece of paper, with several pieces of paper and a pen in hand. Morning, everyone. How is? Oh, what is going on here?
We are going to Port Mirandu, and you are coming with us. Oldran has some words for us.
Oh, I was taking interest in the Thrycreen. Did you know
I'm
that
sure-
they don't just make like clicks and snaps and whatnot through their language? It's also a couple like whistles and hums and whatnot. They have a lot of different a lot of different so and so's with their language. I'm very tired. I need to go back to bed.
No, you don't. Trevlon grabs him by the collar. Trevlon sort of drags him forwards, sort of takes whatever sort of coffee he had left and sort of just puts it to Matlafane's lips. Drink now, and we go. Good man.
All right. Coffee and hash browns consumed. Everyone gets their gear, starts off down the road towards not Battenrance Hall, Port Mirandu. You're at Battenrance Hall.
Yeah.
We can just make a circle around. Yeah.
You could.
It's only like a day's journey to Battenrance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like half a day. Early morning passes without incident. Late morning passes without incident. As you approach Port Mirandu, you pass by, hanging from a nearby tree, the corpse of an Okiti.
Oh, shit.
Wait,
Oh.
do we recognize it?
You do not recognize this particular Okiti, you just recognize that it is hung from a tree and has probably been lynched.
Jesus.
How long have you been
God.
dead?
Medicine check?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
for that matter, actually, if you don't mind me sort of siphoning off of that medicine check, I was going to ask if there are any signs of a struggle or if there are any like marks
He
from
was
other creatures.
lynched.
No, but like if there are
Yeah,
any marks from other
beforehand.
creatures. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there look to be several, like, blunt force bruises on this particular Okiti, and he doesn't smell that bad. You'd guess he's been dead for a couple of hours.
Oh my god.
Is there a way to easily cut him down?
Yeah, Momo can just, like, fly up, cut the rope.
Do that, please.
Okay.
Plump! The body of the Okiti falls to the ground.
Oh god.
Poor thing.
Are his eyes still open?
Yes.
I take 2 fingers and I close them.
Alright.
We should bury this one, right?
Yeah, I agree.
There's no chance of resurrecting him, huh?
He
Not
is
at
too
this
far
stage.
gone.
Does anyone have a shovel?
That's a good question. Does
I have
do
a
any of us
pick,
have a
go wild.
That'll do it. Can't you like change your weird weapon into something else like a shovel?
I'm not going to use my weapon, the thing that keeps me alive, and blunt it in the earth. I have a
That's
regular pick,
fair.
and that's good enough to move some ground.
Fair enough. Would I be able to roll history, by the way, Alex, to tell whether or not this sort of thing is common in Report Roundu?
Sure. No, it's not. Something must have recently provoked this attack against an Okiti.
This
No.
isn't usual.
How would this have happened?
I can only imagine that after our little stint in Port Mirandu, some tensions that were already sitting there between the Okiti and, well, the ruling classes just kind of boiled. I think things are going to be bad there.
Is there anything
Are
on
there-
the Okiti, like a logo or an insignia or a emblem or something on it?
Doesn't appear to be any particular signifying logo. If you're looking for like what group he belongs to, it's probable that he was on the Black Lightning.
He was probably on the Black Lightning.
Are there any flowers in this area, wild or otherwise? Even a weed if we have to.
It's going to take a couple of hours to dig a grave with just a pick. You could probably find some.
Also, like,
No, flowers.
While
Yeah,
Corellian's
find-
doing that, it would take a
Oh,
while to
sorry.
find some. You can multitask. There are 5 of you.
There are 5 of us.
Oh, I was just offering my pick. I wasn't offering to. Carlin sort of looks around, just sighs. Fine, I'll dig it.
I'll help you if you like.
No, just.
Yeah, I can do so too.
All right.
Um,
You start digging, you start looking for flowers. It starts to rain. Eventually, you get a hole dug in the ground, enough to dump the orchidea in and cover it back up with dirt, place a quick flower on it.
Mal leans down and places a flower or two onto the pile of dirt before getting back up.
Doesn't matter who you were in this life, mate. You deserve better than this.
One way or another, we'll find a way to put an end to this.
I hope so.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
You head into Port Mirandu. You don't know if it's the rain or just tension in the air, but it seems a lot quieter in these streets. It seems as though people are just like hiding, waiting for something. You can't be particularly sure because the usually bustling streets are a lot quieter. Whatever movement you see ducks out of view very quickly. Until eventually, you get to the Fiery Grog Tavern. Guglug the bouncer is standing outside, as per usual. Eyes glazed over, mouth agape, a little bit of drool coming out.
I want to roll. What do I have to roll to switch up?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, shit.
Alright. Something seems to have gotten into Guglug's brain. It looks
Mama
like
kinda-
something is puppeteering him.
Mama kind of like pulls his hand back and steps away.
Are we gonna have to go into that shitty basement again?
Yeah. Guglug slowly turns his head towards you, Momo, as you walk away, and says, "Welcome back."
Are you alright?
He slowly pushes the doorway of the Fiery Grog open, staring blankly at you.
I'd like to have Malifane sort of lean close to the wall or the door to see if he can hear anything.
Guys, go inside. Go inside.
You do not hear the usual hustle and bustle of the Fiery Grog Tavern.
Can I make out any sounds? Even the faintest?
Make a perception check. Perception check, please. Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
You can hear the occasional sound of, like, a clinking glass or the shuffle of a chair, the shifting of someone's weight. You're listening very, very closely. It's the sheer distance between those sounds being made that indicates something is very, very wrong.
Guys,
Trevlon
This goes without
Takes a
saying,
few-
but
Wait, hold on,
Don't-
hold on.
touch him.
Favagath will go in first, or at the very least, be the one that pokes his head in. Because that's the reason we have a tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
arm yourselves, guys.
So...
You
Yeah,
walk
plonk his head
inside.
in.
You look around, there are still some bar patrons in here, all of which have the same glassy-eyed, drooling look as Guglug outside. You look to the right, towards the bar. Toftir Duflame is there, just polishing a random glass over and over and over while piles of dirty ones sit on the bar beside him. You look at the fish tank. Ari is inside. She does not have the same look, but there are big old rafter beams on top of the glass tank, pushing down the ceiling of it and sealing her in. you look up towards the balcony. There are 5 more bar patrons standing on the railing there, ropes around their necks. They have not jumped yet, but they are just standing there, staring and waiting. And old Rand sits at a table, drink in hand, taking a sip, and he looks at you as you enter. I see you've got my message. Welcome, he says. Come, have a seat.
Fervigath hesitantly goes back, pops his head back outside and says, "It's old Rand, everything's fine."
Trevon sort of nods, heads in, notices Ari. If Trevlon was to cast message at her, would Aldran notice?
Probably.
Then Trevlon will hold back for now.
In that case, Malifane will just look at Ari, sort of see if there's anything. If he looks at her, can he notice anything strange, or will she sort of like make any gestures or anything of any sort?
Make an insight check.
You got it, buddy.
Nice.
All right. There is genuine panic in Ari's eyes. She looks between you and old Ran, and then the door that you just walked through.
Mal looks to Momo, since he's the second closest, trying to make eye contact with him, and just nods, just shakes his head. Like he moves his eyes to old Ran, moves his eyes, then to Momo, then to Ari, then to Momo again, and shakes his head now.
Momo nods his head and then grabs Thav's, kind of discreetly grabs Thav's loincloth, kind of tugs it back a little.
Fervigath stops in his tracks for a second, but is ultimately confused.
He,
Yeah, you got it.
kind of eyes at Malifane. And Mal would basically tell him what you tells Thav what Mal told him.
Sure you want to say it?
Not saying, but signaling in a way.
Yeah. All right. As you all frantically signal at
I'm gonna
Navagat,
break the mood.
old Ran looks at you. Well, are you going to have a seat or not?
Fervigath kind of looks at everyone else and just gestures to the remainder of the room, and then back to the table, like a kind of, you see this?
Corellian smoothly, composedly walks over and pulls out a few chairs and then sits down.
Thank you.
Of course, we'll sit down.
I'm gonna stay close to Thav because it's his dad.
Yeah. The woman who was sitting with old Ran stands up, shuffles away from the table, then turns to stare at Malifane.
I feel like Mal should lean against the wall, but just sort of in a way that he could still be prepared just in case anything happens. And he's
Mal?
I'm good, but thank you for the gesture.
Mal, I don't think we should irritate the kind gentleman, considering that perhaps causing a fuss in this place. And Trevlon looks to the rafters, where the men and women with their ropes around their necks are, and looks back to Mal. Perhaps we should oblige this person before things go a different direction. And Trevlon looks deadly serious at Mal, and then to the chair to his left.
Yeah. Okay. As he walks toward the chair, he continues to keep his eyes on Ari.
All right.
Old man, if you don't mind my asking, what's going on with everyone?
Old Rand stands up. They were making quite too much of a fuss, so I decided to make this a quieter gathering. He steps back, holds up a hand, and chants an arcane word. And then walls of force surround you as you sit around the table.
Oh no.
You have been quite inquisitive. I wish I could say I was surprised, but well, that is what I hired you for, says Old Ran. But it would appear our business arrangement is going to change. In that case, as he continues to step back, bits of his skin start oozing and slowly sliding off, revealing purple, slimy, some kind of texture beneath. His beard splits apart, and the hair drops off to reveal several tentacles instead where the beard was.
Oh no!
Oh
I
boy.
fucking
Yeah.
knew it!
Motherfucker.
This
He
was gonna
spreads his
happen.
arms. Allow me to more formally introduce myself.
I'm too young for this.
My name is Rancol. I am the speaker of the old voice. And that's where we're gonna end our session!
I am actually angry.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh
Alex.
Though I will say,
Alex.
I'm sorry, Flair!
I as terrifying as this is, can you just? I want everyone right now who has it open to full screen this and look down. Just.
He's still got the
He's still got
He's still got the slippers!
Look,
You
just
are
because
no
you're a
longer
mind
able to
flayer-
take this seriously.
Just because you're a mind flayer doesn't mean you can't have comfortable feet, okay?
No, okay,
Fuck.
Scott, consider this. You should take him significantly more seriously, because he's at a level of power, sheer ungodly force and mass and presence.
Phil,
He could not give even the slightest shit if you notice the fact he's wearing slippery socks
I
on.
want you to know that Malifane takes this situation absolutely seriously and is probably going to fucking kill this man. Scott, on the other hand, is internally laughing his ass off right
Scott,
now.
you don't understand. You don't fuck with a guy who operates in slippers.
The man's got his Uggs on, dude. He can
Yes.
throw down. Fuck.
I guess I should
Motherfucker's wearing
know.
Crocs.
We are working with one right now. Isn't that right, Alex?
We will see you all on the next episode of Fallen Empires. Goodbye, everyone!
Bye, guys.
We're fucked.